The search had been going on for a while now. Nobody wanted to say it, but hope was fading. Who would steal a 6-month-old baby in this village? It didn't make sense. They all knew each other in this small Bihar village. Nobody would do this now. Then a little 8-year-old boy stepped forward and he said, I know where she is. I know where the baby is. At first, people ignored him. They didn't believe him. You know how kids can be. They just make up things in their heads. But he insisted, no, I know where the baby is. Follow me. So he led the police to a quiet patch of soil behind the house. And then he pointed, she's there. Then they dug into the ground a bit and they found the missing baby. Buried in a shallow grave. Everybody froze. Mothers there screaming. The boy just stood there, calm, watching all of them. That boy was Amarjeet Sada, 8 years old. When the police asked what happened, he didn't cry, he didn't hesitate. He just said, I strangled her. Some reports say that he was even smiling during his questioning and that he had even asked the police for biscuits. That's how calm, that's how disturbingly calm this child was. When the police went to his home to question his parents, they didn't even look surprised. They said, Amarjeet, well, this is not his first time now. That he had allegedly killed 2 babies before this, his 8-month-old sister and his 9-month-old cousin. The police said, why didn't you report this? His family said, because it was a family matter. The first baby was his sister, just 8 months old. One morning, his mom stepped out just briefly. She just needed to do something. In a few minutes, she came back and the baby was lying very still. Amarjeet was the only one there. When she asked what happened, he said he had hit the baby on the head with a stone. She did not know what to do. In that moment, she wasn't just a mother who had lost a child. She was a mother who realized that her other child had caused it. So the family, they buried the baby quietly and they swore to keep it a secret. They said that they punished him somehow. Nobody knows what that means. I don't know how they punished him, but they called it a family matter. Months later, it happened again. His 9-month-old cousin, she was dropped off at their house and then her mom went off to run errands. When she returned, she found the baby lifeless. Amarjeet immediately admitted that he had strangled her. Again, the family buried it. They stayed silent and they just warned him never to do it again. By the time the neighbor's 6-month-old daughter went missing, Amarjeet had already taken 2 lives. But this time, the family couldn't hide it anymore because this baby didn't belong to them. During the village search, Amarjeet calmly told the adults, I know where she is, and he led them straight to the baby's body. He had buried her in a shallow grave. He admitted everything immediately. He didn't hold back. The police had never seen anything like it. An 8-year-old child accused of 3 murders. They said he suffered from psychiatric disorders, but no official diagnosis was ever released. And then because of his age, he couldn't be tried as an adult. Under India's juvenile law, he could only stay in a children's reform home until he turned 18. He stayed there for years, and then he turned 18. Then the law required that he be released. So in 2016, they let him go. No court supervision, no public record of where he went next, nothing. To this day, nobody knows where Amarjeet Sada is. No photos, no updates, nothing. He could literally be anywhere and he could be anybody. And that's what makes his story even more scary. Because the world's youngest serial killer, he didn't die in prison. He simply grew up and disappeared. So here's the real question, right? Was he born this way? Or did something around him turn him into this? Because it's easy for us to just say, oh my God, he's just an evil child. But he grew up in abject poverty, in silence with parents who obviously didn't correct him. They would rather hide him. Maybe he didn't even understand what death really meant. I don't know. But then again, there are other kids who have done the same thing and they did not grow up poor. Maribel, she was 10, living in England. In 1968, she strangled 2 little boys. One of them was only 3 years old. She grew up in abuse. Her mother had tried to kill her as a baby multiple times. By the time Mary had her first kill, she had seen so much darkness that she started acting it out. She spent 12 years in prison, got out, changed her name, and today she lives quietly with her daughter on her own. Then there is the case of James Bulger, a 2-year-old boy in Liverpool. He was taken by 2 10-year-olds, Robert Thompson and John Venables. They beat him, they tortured him, and then they left him by a railway track. Those boys came from ordinary homes, no abuse, just curiosity and wickedness. So it's not always trauma, it's not always poverty. Sometimes it's something darker than that, something that even psychologists cannot explain. Maribel, she grew up in abuse. Those 2 boys that killed James Bulger, they came from very ordinary homes. Amarjeet, he came from poverty and silence. 3 different worlds. same darkness. Maybe it's not nature, maybe it's not nurture either, maybe it's both. And what bothers me is if killers can be born and then they can also be made by their environment, then what can we actually do about it? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like stories like this, please follow me. I tell these stories all the time on all my social media. Thank you.